Hello, it's Emily Dan Rostek here, and today we're going to be talking about chess, the history of chess, and how to make your own chess piece. Alright, let's begin. We all know chess, right? This is the traditional chess, and I'm pretty sure we're familiar with it. We have the pawn, which moves forward and attacks diagonally, the rook that moves vertically, horizontally, the bishop moves diagonally, the horse moves in an L shape, the queen moves like a rook and a knight combined, and the king moves just any adjacent square. But of course, if you were able to make a new piece in chess, what would it be? Well, if you were new to chess, then there's this part that you would add the knight move to the queen. This is the Amazon. This monster, this unholy behemoth, can checkmate a king within a distance. I mean, literally, look at this. The king can't escape. No way. It just can't. But however, I gotta be really honest, it's not the most creative piece to have existed. Now I have the Chancellor with the combined moves of the Rook and the Knight, and the Archbishop with the combined moves of a Bishop and a Knight, which are good and less overpowered. Feels like Queen. They're just as uncreative though. The first version of chess was very different. There was called Gaturanga, which means four divisions. And yeah, sometimes it's called Shatrang. We have the. This was actually called a horse, and this was originally called a chariot. Now we have the piece called the alfield, which was heavily debated at the time. Does it move two squares diagonally, two squares forward or backward, left, right, or does it move like this? Eventually, it turns out majority of the games played the I'll feel like this. And yeah, this is a bit of a problem. You'll see why later on. This is the first, aka the counselor, and it used to take the place of the queen. This thing is so weak. I can see why it got replaced by the queen. Now, is it possible for a battleship to become a chariot and then a castle? Well, in chess history, yes. First it was a ship, then it got changed to a castle, and then it got to the nowadays rook. Yep. Imagine that. And now we're gonna talk about some chess variants. We have the Xianqi, which is modified. We have a palace and a river. This is the general, which probably only moves one square orthogonally. The reason why it was not called king because Chinese they don't usually use king in games. Now the advisors, which move just like the furs. Horse move regularly, except they can't jump. Elephant moves like the outfield, but they can't jump either. We have the chariots, which is a pretty complicated, which is it basically is a rook, and a cannon. It's a bit of a complicated piece. It must fly over a piece to attack. In case you didn't know, there's a red piece. There's a piece over there, and there's a piece over there. I can attack this one, but not this one. Yeah. And now I have the soldier, which moves forwards, but as soon as it and also attacks forwards, but as soon as it crosses the river, it can move left or right, but only 1 point. Only once. Now we have shogi. The king's normal. Soldier is basically the same as the Yankee. Bishop and rook normally. This is the lancer, which can someone please tell me why is it here? Well, it exists, alright. It basically only moves forward, and that's it. The knight, yeah, it can only move over there. The new knights are better. And now we have two really weird pieces: the gold general and the silver general. General moves one square any direction except diagonally backwards, and the silver general moves forwards or diagonally backwards, but only one square. So we have ranks for generals now. Yeah, this is pretty weird. And now we have a promoted rook, which basically moves like a rook and a king. A promoted bishop, which moves like a bishop and a king, and oh boy, more golden generals. Never mind. Now we have Tamil in chess, and a really interesting one. I like this variant. Could be better, but hey, I like it. This is the Wazir, aka the advisor. We know the first moves one square diagonally. This one moves one square orthogonally. Now the Baba. That's a really strange name for a chess piece. It moves two squares orthogonally. It represents catapults. Now I have the camel. Now we have it's moves by a 3x1 L shape by jumping over pieces like a knight but longer. The camel is often used to represent caravans. Of course, yeah. Now we have a new piece. This is the grasshopper and it's often used in chess puzzles. It has to leap over a piece to move or attack. So as you can see here, it can go here, or here, or here, or here. It can't go anywhere here because there's no piece away. It can take this black pawn, but it can't go anywhere here because this white pawn is blocking it. This is the Berolina pawn, which is basically the opposite of a pawn. So normal pawns move forwards, this one moves diagonally. Normal pawns move attack diagonally, this one attacks forwards. It does two-step diagonal and it also en passant, which yeah. This is the zebra. Yeah. And now let's just say we have a new chess. Now, let's just pretend that you're able to make a chess piece, and your custom chess goes in this your custom chess piece can go in this square, this square, this square, and this square. What would it be? But there are a few rules. Rule number one: the movement of the piece must be easy to remember. It took me a while to remember the grasshopper's move, and the fly over a piece to attack. It is really hard. Remember, the rook is easy, the bishop is easy, the knight has to be the hardest, but come on! Everyone remembers the L shape, right? Sure, pretty sure you remember the L shape. Now, the piece must at least reach a half of the chessboard. And when I say that, I mean it can go anywhere on the chessboard or at least half of it. Now we have the rook. The rook can go anywhere. The knight can go anywhere as well. The bishop can only reach half of the chessboard because, as you can see here, this is a dark square bishop. It can only go on dark squares. It can't go on any light squares. It's restricted to dark squares. So that's what I meant when I said reach only a half. The alfil can only. Now, remember when I said that there was a problem with the alfil? Well, it can only reach an eighth of the chessboard. I mean, look. If here's this alfil, yeah, sometimes represented by an upside down bishop. Anyway, here it is, and it can only go there, 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 there. It can only reach 8 squares. And it takes 8 alfils to cover up an entire chessboard, which is way too many in my opinion. The Dababa can only uh, can only reach a quarter, so 16 squares. I'm trying not to laugh here. This is such a weird name. A piece must be representable in royalty or anything related to that. Rule number three. Now, the rooks represent the defense. Knights obviously represent knights. The alfil represents elephants, war elephant. The dababa represents catapults. Bishops obviously represent bishops. Pawns represent soldiers. The king and queen represent the monarch. Can someone please tell me what they're supposed to mean? This is a giraffe. Yep, it's an actual chess piece. I'm not sure what it means. Can someone please tell me what it means? I don't really. This is the man. Yeah, it basically moves like a king, but no one cares if you take it. It's literally just useless. What is it? This is the wildebeest. What's a wild animal doing in the middle of a battlefield? And there's this is called an Alibaba. Why is this piece even there? What is this supposed to mean? Someone please tell me what they're supposed to mean. So yeah, the piece movement must be easy to remember. The piece must reach at least a half of the chessboard. It must be representable, and the Amazon, Chancellor, and Archbishop are not allowed. They're too overused. They're just overused. So here's my take. it would be the feel, and not the al feel, the feel. Al means duh in Arabic, anyway. Keep that in mind. And here it moves 2 or 3 squares diagonally. Um, and yeah, that's the move. I know I could have probably improved this, but this is what I went with. Now, if you get everything, now let's remove the king, queen, and pawns, and we'll leave only these ones. Everything seems to fit because 2 pieces can jump, 2 pieces can't. 2 pieces they can go only half of the chessboard. 2 pieces can go anywhere. 2 pieces represent places. This represents the fortress, and this represents churches, and these two represent animals, the horse and the elephant. And try thinking of anything you can because they all definitely represent something big. And so, yeah, this is my take on the new chess, or at least my take. I tried testing this out on a 10 by 10, but there was a little issue. I had to really think carefully when I did this because, well, here's the issue. I removed it. I could do this, and it'll be checkmates. So you ought to be really careful with that thing. Yeah. So, but I just upgraded the outfield to become the field from a very weak piece to a sort of overpowered in this beginning of the game. Gotta be careful when you use those. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. See you soon, and have a nice rest of